The ultimatum. The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. In an instant, it shattered humanity's perception of its place in the universe and set in motion a chain of events that would reshape galactic history. Dr. Elena Reyes, lead xenolinguist at NASA's Exocommunication Division, stared at her computer screen in disbelief. The transmission had come through the Deep Space Relay Network, its origin unmistakably alien. But it wasn't the existence of extraterrestrial life that left her breathless. It was the contents of the message itself. "This can't be right," she muttered, running the decryption algorithms once more. But the result remained unchanged. The message was clear, concise, and utterly terrifying. To the inhabitants of Sol 3, designation, Earth, you are hereby notified of your obligation to the Galactic Council. Prepare to receive our emissaries and render appropriate tribute, or face the consequences of defiance. You have one planetary rotation to comply. Elena's fingers flew across her keyboard, initiating emergency protocols. Within minutes, the highest levels of government were alerted, and a global crisis management team was assembled. In Washington, D.C., President Amelia Chen sat at the head of a long table in a secure underground bunker. Her face was grim as she addressed the hastily gathered group of advisors, military leaders, and scientific experts. "Ladies and gentlemen, I don't need to tell you the gravity of our situation," she began. "We are facing a threat unlike any in human history. Dr. Reyes, please brief us on what we know." Elena cleared her throat, acutely aware of the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. "The message appears to be from an organization calling itself the Galactic Council. Based on the complexity of the transmission and the technology required to send it across such vast distances, we're dealing with a civilization far more advanced than our own. And they want tribute." General Marcus Hardwick, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, leaned forward with a scowl. "What exactly does that mean?" "We're not entirely sure," Elena admitted. In human history, tribute often meant gold, resources, or even people. Given the interstellar nature of this demand, it could be anything from rare elements to advanced technology, or worse. A heavy silence fell over the room as the implications sank in. It was broken by Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a renowned physicist who had been frantically scribbling calculations on a notepad. "There's something else to consider," she said, her voice quiet but intense. "The message mentioned emissaries. If they can travel here within a day, their technology must be incredibly advanced. We're talking about faster than light travel, at the very least." President Chen's expression hardened. "So you're saying we couldn't fight them even if we wanted to?" Dr. Tanaka nodded grimly. "Based on what we know, any military resistance would be futile." The room erupted into heated debate. Some argued for immediate compliance, hoping to buy time and learn more about the alien threat. Others insisted that giving in would only lead to further demands and eventual subjugation. As the arguments raged, a soft-spoken voice cut through the chaos. It belonged to Dr. Aidan Zhao, a historian specializing in the rise and fall of civilizations. "We need to consider the long-term implications," he said, his eyes scanning the faces around the table. "Throughout human history, whenever a technologically superior force has demanded tribute from a less advanced society, it has inevitably led to exploitation and cultural erosion. If we submit now, we may be dooming future generations to a fate worse than death, the loss of our identity as a species." His word hung in the air, heavy with the weight of centuries of human struggle and perseverance. President Chen nodded slowly, a spark of determination igniting in her eyes. "Dr. Zhao is right," she said. "We cannot simply roll over and accept whatever these aliens demand. But neither can we afford to provoke a conflict we cannot win." She turned to Elena. "Dr. Reyes, is there any way we can buy ourselves more time? Perhaps claim a misunderstanding or request clarification?" Elena shook her head. The message was quite clear about the time frame. Attempting to stall might be seen as non-compliance. President Chen stood, her decision made. Then we have no choice but to meet these emissaries, but we will do so on our terms, united as one human race. I want every nation informed and involved in this decision. We stand together, or we fall together. The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. World leaders were contacted, emergency sessions of the United Nations were convened, and a global broadcast was prepared to inform the public of the impending arrival. As night fell across the globe, billions of humans looked to the stars with a mixture of fear and wonder. In every major city, crowds gathered in streets and squares, their eyes fixed on screens displaying a live feed from the United Nations. President Chen stood before the General Assembly, her voice steady as she addressed not just her fellow leaders, but all of humanity. My fellow citizens of Earth, today we face a moment that will define our species for generations to come. We have received a message from an advanced alien civilization, demanding tribute and threatening consequences if we do not comply. But I stand before you today to say that we will not be cowed by threats, no matter their origin. She paused, her gaze sweeping across the assembly, and the cameras broadcasting her words to every corner of the globe. We will meet these emissaries with open minds and open hearts, ready to forge a new chapter in galactic relations. But we will also stand firm in our conviction that humanity deserves to be treated as equals, not subjects. We will not surrender our autonomy or our dignity. We will not betray the principles that have guided us through millennia of struggle and triumph. As she spoke, a strange hum began to fill the air. Outside, the night sky blazed with sudden light as massive ships appeared in low Earth orbit, their sleek forms defying known laws of physics. President Chen's voice never wavered. To our visitors, I say this: we welcome you to Earth. We are eager to learn and to share knowledge. But know that we come to this meeting not as supplicants, but as a proud and united species. We will not bow. We will not surrender. We are humanity, and we are ready to take our place among the stars. As if in response to her words, a beam of light shot down from the largest ship, materializing into a group of alien figures on the grounds of the United Nations. They were tall, their bodies covered in iridescent scales, with multiple arms and large compound eyes that surveyed the scene with cold calculation. The leader of the group stepped forward, its voice resonating with an otherworldly timbre as it addressed the stunned humans. We are the emissaries of the Galactic Council. We have come to collect the tribute owed by your world. Comply, and you may yet have a place in our grand design. Resist, and you will be deemed unworthy of existence. For a moment, the world held its breath. Then, from the assembled leaders of Earth, a single word rang out, a word that would echo across the stars and change the course of galactic history forever. No. The alien emissary's compound eyes flickered with what might have been surprise. You dare defy the will of the Galactic Council. President Chen stepped forward, her chin held high. We dare to claim our right to self-determination. We dare to stand up for our principles and our future. We dare to be human. The alien's form seemed to ripple with barely contained rage. Then you have chosen your fate. Prepare yourselves, humans. The full might of the Galactic Council will descend upon your world, and you will learn the price of defiance. With that, the emissaries vanished in another flash of light, leaving behind a world forever changed. As the alien ships retreated from Earth's orbit, a mixture of fear and exhilaration swept through the assembled leaders and the watching billions. President Chen turned to face her fellow humans, her expression resolute. My friends, we have taken our stand. Now we must prepare for what comes next. The road ahead will be difficult, but I believe in the strength, the ingenuity, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. Together, we will face this challenge. Together, we will show the galaxy what it truly means to be human. As the assembly erupted into determined applause, the first light of dawn began to break over the horizon. It was the dawn of a new era for humanity, an era of struggle, of unity, and of a destiny among the stars that no one could have imagined just days before. The Galactic Council had demanded tribute, But humanity had answered with defiance. Now, the real test would begin. Defiance and preparation. The days following humanity's defiant stand against the Galactic Council were a whirlwind of activity. As news of the alien ultimatum spread, the initial panic gave way to a surge of unity and determination unlike anything the world had ever seen. In laboratories and workshops across the globe, scientists and engineers worked around the clock, pushing the boundaries of human technology. Dr. Yuki Tanaka led a team of physicists in analyzing the data collected during the brief alien visitation, searching for any clues that might give humanity an edge. Their ships seemed to bend space itself, she explained during a briefing with world leaders. If we can understand even a fraction of how they do it, we might be able to develop new defensive capabilities. Meanwhile, in a hidden facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Marcus Hardwick oversaw the integration of Earth's military forces into a unified global defense command. "We may be outgunned," he growled to his assembled officers, "but we sure as hell won't go down without a fight. Every soldier, every weapon, every resource we have will be dedicated to protecting our planet." As the military prepared for the inevitable invasion, another group was working on a different kind of defense. Dr. Elena Reyes had assembled a team of linguists, anthropologists, and diplomats to study the limited interactions with the Galactic Council. "There might still be a chance for negotiation," she argued. "If we can understand their culture, their motivations, we might find a way to resolve this conflict without bloodshed." But even as humanity rallied to face the threat, the enormity of the challenge became clear. Astronomical observatories detected massive energy signatures at the edge of the solar system. The Galactic Council's invasion fleet was assembling, and it was vast beyond comprehension. President Amelia Chen addressed the United Nations once more, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. "We have always dreamed of reaching the stars," she said. "Now the stars have come to us, not with open arms, but with clenched fists. Yet in this moment of crisis, I see not despair, but hope. In every nation, every city, every home, I see the best of humanity rising to meet this challenge." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the assembly. "We may be outnumbered and outgunned, but we have something the Galactic Council cannot comprehend: the indomitable human spirit. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive." Her words ignited a fire in the hearts of billions. Across the world, people set aside old rivalries and prejudices, united in the face of an existential threat. Former enemies became allies, pooling resources and knowledge in a desperate race against time. In orbit, the International Space Station was hastily retrofitted into humanity's first line of defense. Solar panels were replaced with experimental energy shields, and crude weapon systems were cobbled together from available materials. On the ground, cities began to change. Underground shelters were expanded, and evacuation plans were put into place. But alongside these defensive measures, humanity's creative spirit flourished. Artists painted murals of hope and defiance, musicians composed stirring anthems of unity, and writers crafted stories of human triumph against impossible odds. As weeks turned into months, the first breakthroughs began to emerge. Dr. Tanaka's team, reverse engineering concepts from the alien technology, developed a prototype gravitational distortion field. "It's not much," she admitted as she demonstrated the device, which could barely lift a pencil. "But it's proof that we can understand and replicate their tech. Given more time, we might be able to create defenses that could actually stand up to their weapons." In the realm of communication, Dr. Reyes made a startling discovery. Hidden within the original ultimatum from the Galactic Council were layers of contextual information that her team had initially missed. "They're not just conquerors," she explained excitedly. "The Galactic Council sees itself as a force of order in the universe. They demand tribute not just for resources, but as a test of worthiness. Species that submit are eventually integrated into their hierarchy. Those that resist—" She didn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone knew the stakes. But perhaps the most surprising development came from an unexpected source. Dr. Aidan Zhao, the historian who had warned against submission, proposed a daring plan. Throughout human history, he began, addressing a joint session of world leaders, we face existential threats, from natural disasters to wars, plagues to environmental catastrophes. Each time, we not only survived but emerged stronger. He activated a holographic display, showing a timeline of human achievement. Our greatest advances often come in times of greatest peril. The space race gave us satellites and microprocessors. World wars spurred medical breakthroughs. Even the climate crisis led to revolutionary clean energy technologies. Now we face our greatest challenge yet, and I believe it will lead to our greatest triumph. Dr. Zhou's plan was audacious. Instead of focusing solely on defense, he proposed a radical acceleration of human space exploration and colonization. We can't beat them head-on, he argued, but we can ensure the survival of our species by spreading to the stars. Hidden colonies, seed ships carrying the best of our culture and technology. Even if Earth falls, humanity will live on. The plan was controversial. Some argued that it was defeatist, that it would divert crucial resources from planetary defense. Others saw it as humanity's best hope for long-term survival. In the end, a compromise was reached. While the bulk of Earth's efforts would go toward preparing for the coming invasion, a secret project codenamed Diaspora would begin immediate work on long-range colony ships. As the deadline for the Galactic Council's return drew near, a palpable tension filled the air. But alongside the fear was a fierce determination. In every city, in every home, humans stood ready to face whatever came next. On the eve of the expected invasion, President Chen made one final address to the people of Earth. My fellow humans, she began, her voice calm but filled with emotion. Tomorrow, we face our greatest test. The Galactic Council comes not just to conquer our world, but to crush our spirit. They expect us to kneel, to submit, to betray everything that makes us human. She paused, a fierce light in her eyes. But we will show them the true meaning of humanity. We will show them our courage, our creativity, our unwavering determination to forge our own destiny. Whatever happens tomorrow, know this: Earth may be our cradle, but it will not be our grave. We are humanity, and our story is far from over. As night fell across the globe, billions looked to the stars, not with fear, but with defiance. In labs and bunkers, in orbiting stations, and hidden launch facilities, humanity stood ready. The Galactic Council was coming, but humanity would not go quietly. The greatest chapter in human history was about to be written, and its first word was a resounding, unequivocal no. First contact, first blood. The dawn broke over a world holding its collective breath. In every time zone, on every continent, humans stood united, eyes turned skyward. The Galactic Council's deadline had arrived. At precisely 800 UTC, the sky ignited. Massive ships, each larger than the largest human cities, phased into existence in low Earth orbit. Their sleek, otherworldly designs defied conventional physics, shimmering with an energy that made the air itself crackle with power. In the newly established Global Defense Command Center, buried deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Marcus Hardwick watched the holographic displays with grim determination. All stations, report in, he barked. One by one, defensive outposts around the world confirmed their readiness. The experimental shields hummed to life, enveloping key cities and military installations in a faint, shimmering dome. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's voice came through the comm system, tense but controlled. Gravitational distortion fields are online, General. They won't stop their ships, but they should disrupt their targeting systems. Before Hardwick could respond, a booming voice filled the air, seeming to come from everywhere at once. It was the Galactic Council, addressing all of humanity. Inhabitants of Earth, you have rejected our generous offer and chosen the path of defiance. Now witness the consequences of your foolishness. Surrender now or be eradicated. President Amelia Chen, standing resolute in the United Nations headquarters, stepped forward to address the alien fleet. Her voice, amplified by every communication device on the planet, rang out clear and unwavering. We are humanity. We do not surrender, we do not submit, and we do not bow to tyranny, no matter its origin. If you want our world, you'll have to fight for it. For a moment, silence reigned. Then, with a sound like thunder, the alien ships opened fire. Beams of energy lanced down from the sky, aimed at major population centers. But as they struck the experimental shields, something unexpected happened. Instead of punching through, the beams scattered, their energy dispersed in a dazzling display of light. In the command center, cheers erupted. Dr. Tanaka's voice came through, breathless with excitement. It worked. The shields are holding. But the celebration was short-lived. The alien ships adjusted quickly, concentrating their fire on specific points. Shield generators strained under the assault, and one by one, they began to fail. All defense units, engage, General Hardwick commanded. Around the world, humanity's hastily prepared defenses sprang into action. Retrofitted fighter jets screamed into the sky, armed with experimental weapons based on the aliens' own technology. Ground-based energy cannons, repurposed from fusion research facilities, fired beams of superheated plasma at the invading ships. To everyone's surprise, these makeshift weapons had an effect. While they couldn't penetrate the alien shields entirely, they caused noticeable disruptions. Several smaller ships, caught off guard by the unexpected resistance, spiraled out of control, crashing into the ocean. In orbit, the transformed International Space Station revealed its secret weapon. A massive electromagnetic pulse, the result of weeks of frantic modification, fired directly at the alien fleet's command ship. For a brief moment, its systems flickered, its impenetrable shield wavering. Taking advantage of the momentary weakness, a swarm of nuclear missiles, humanity's last-ditch weapon, streaked towards the vulnerable ship. The resulting explosion was visible from the ground, a new star briefly flaring in the daytime sky. As the light faded, humanity held its breath. Had they actually managed to destroy one of the invaders' capital ships? The answer came swiftly and terribly. The alien fleet, enraged by the loss of their flagship, intensified their assault. Energy beams of unprecedented power carved swaths of destruction across continents. Cities that had stood for millennia were reduced to ash in seconds. Yet even in the face of such overwhelming force, humanity refused to yield. For every city destroyed, a hidden bunker full of survivors emerged. For every defense base obliterated, a camouflaged installation revealed itself, firing salvos of makeshift weapons at the alien ships. Dr. Elena Reyes, monitoring the battle from a secure communication hub, made a startling observation. Their attack patterns, they're not random. They're targeting our cultural centers, our seats of government. They're not just trying to defeat us militarily, they're trying to break our spirit. This realization sparked a daring plan. Using the aliens' own communication frequencies, hacked by Dr. Reyes' team, humanity began broadcasting. Not pleas for mercy or offers of surrender, but a defiant celebration of human culture and achievement. Art masterpieces flashed across the alien ship's view screens. The greatest music humanity had ever produced echoed through their communication channels. And woven through it all was a simple message. We are humanity. We will not be erased. The effect was subtle but noticeable. The alien assault faltered, if only for a moment, as if confused by this unexpected response to their overwhelming show of force. Taking advantage of the hesitation, Dr. Aiden Zhao enacted the next phase of the Diaspora Project. Hidden launch facilities around the world fired up, sending a fleet of sleek ships streaking towards the stars. Each vessel carried a precious cargo, the seeds of human civilization, ready to take root on distant worlds. As the battle raged on Earth, these harbingers of humanity's future slipped past the preoccupied alien fleet, using the very technology humanity had reverse-engineered from their would-be conquerors. Back on the ground, the tide of battle continued to shift. For every victory humanity claimed, the aliens responded with ever-increasing force. Cities burned, oceans boiled, and the very atmosphere seemed to scream in pain. Yet still, humanity fought on. In the ruins of London, a group of survivors rigged a downed alien fighter to explode, taking out a troop transport. In the depths of the Amazon, indigenous tribes armed with nothing but blow darts coated in a neurotoxin that by sheer chance proved lethal to the alien foot soldiers. As the first day of the invasion drew to a close, both sides had suffered heavy losses. The alien fleet, while still overwhelmingly powerful, had been bloodied in a way they had never experienced before. Humanity, battered but unbroken, prepared for another day of desperate resistance. In the command center, General Hardwick received reports from around the globe. The news was grim. Major cities in ruins, millions dead or missing, infrastructure devastated. But there were glimmers of hope too. The aliens had been hurt. Their aura of invincibility had been shattered. President Chen, her face streaked with dust and blood from a near miss on the UN building, addressed the world once more. People of Earth, we have survived the first day of our greatest trial. The road ahead is long and fraught with peril, but we have proven something today, not just to our invaders, but to ourselves. We are not helpless. We are not beaten. We are humanity, and we will prevail. As night fell across a burning world, the survivors of humanity's darkest day looked to the stars with a mixture of fear and determination. The Galactic Council had come to crush them, to add Earth to its collection of subjugated worlds. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. Humanity had been tested, and in their response, they had discovered strengths they never knew they possessed. The war for Earth, and for the very soul of humanity, had only just begun, turning the tide. As weeks of relentless conflict stretched into months, the face of the Earth changed dramatically. Once great cities lay in ruins, continents were scared by the aftermath of unimaginable weapons, and the skies burned with the constant exchange of fire between human defenses and the Galactic Council's seemingly endless fleet. Yet, against all odds, humanity endured. In hidden bunkers and hastily constructed underground cities, the survivors of the initial onslaught regrouped and adapted. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's team, working tirelessly in a mobile lab disguised as a convoy of battered trucks, achieved breakthrough after breakthrough in understanding and replicating alien technology. We're not just reverse engineering anymore, she explained during a clandestine meeting of Earth's remaining leaders. We're innovating, pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The aliens gave us a crash course in advanced physics, and we're fast learners. Her words proved prophetic. Within days, the first human-made energy shields, more efficient and adaptable than their alien counterparts, were deployed to protect key resistant strongholds. Weapons based on gravitational manipulation, once thought to be centuries beyond human capability, began to even the odds on the battlefield. But it wasn't just in technology that humanity found its strength. Dr. Elena Reyes, her linguistic team now scattered across the globe, made a discovery that would change the course of the war. The Galactic Council isn't as united as they want us to believe, she reported, her voice crackling over a secure, quantum-entangled communication line. We've intercepted transmissions between their ships. There are factions within their ranks, some who question the ethics of their expansion policy, some who admire our resistance. This information sparked a daring plan. Using the communication protocols they'd decrypted, humanity began a campaign of psychological warfare against their invaders. They targeted individual ships and commanders with messages of peace, appeals to conscience, and reminders of the futility of their mission. At first, the effect seemed negligible, but slowly, almost imperceptibly, something began to change. Alien attacks became less coordinated. Some ships hesitated before firing on civilian targets, and in a few remarkable instances, entire battle groups withdrew from combat, citing technical difficulties that fooled no one. On the ground, the tide began to turn as well. General Hardwick, coordinating a global guerrilla campaign from a series of ever-moving command posts, reported increasing success in hit-and-run tactics against alien ground forces. "They're not used to this kind of warfare," he explained, a grim smile on his weathered face. "They expected us to fight conventionally, to present easy targets. Instead, we're everywhere and nowhere, striking from the shadows and disappearing before they can retaliate." But perhaps the most significant development came from an unexpected source. Dr. Aidan Zhao, monitoring the progress of the Diaspora Project from a hidden facility in the Himalayas, received a transmission that left him speechless. "We've made contact," he announced to a stunned war council. "Not with our colony ships, but with other alien civilizations, races that have suffered under the Galactic Council's rule for centuries. They've been watching our resistance, and they're inspired. They want to help." The news spread like wildfire through the resistance networks. Humanity, in its darkest hour, had unknowingly lit a beacon of hope across the stars. Alien ships of designs unlike anything seen before began to appear in Earth's skies. But these newcomers didn't attack. They joined the fight against the Galactic Council. President Chen, addressing a gathering of human and alien allies, spoke of the profound change this development represented. "We began this fight believing we were alone in the universe, facing an implacable foe," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "Now we stand united with beings from across the galaxy, all of us seeking the same thing, the right to determine our own destiny." The war entered a new phase. Earth became the center of a galactic rebellion, a symbol of resistance against tyranny that transcended species and star systems. The Galactic Council, for the first time in its long history, found itself on the defensive. But the Council was far from defeated. Enraged by the defection of its subject races and the continued resilience of humanity, it prepared to unleash its ultimate weapon, a device capable of destabilizing a planet's core, turning the very Earth against its defenders. As the Council's superweapon approached Earth, protected by a massive fleet of its most loyal forces, humanity and its alien allies prepared for a final, desperate battle. Dr. Tanaka's team worked feverishly to develop a countermeasure, while General Hardwick coordinated the largest space battle in Earth's history. The fate of not just humanity, but of freedom throughout the galaxy, hung in the balance. The Council's superweapon entered Earth's orbit, its terrible purpose clear to all who beheld it. In that moment, as hope seemed to falter, a message blazed across every communication channel, in every language known to the assembled species. "We are humanity. We stand for freedom. And we are not alone." With those words, the final battle for Earth, and for the future of the galaxy, began. Thousands of ships, human and alien alike, swarmed the Council's fleet. Energy weapons lit up the sky, turning night to day. On the ground, millions watched in awe and terror as their future was decided in the heavens above. The Council's superweapon, a massive construct of dark energy and exotic matter, began to power up. The Earth itself trembled, tectonic plates groaning as the device reached out with tendrils of gravitational force. But humanity had one last card to play. Dr. Tanaka, in a final stroke of genius, had discovered a way to turn the weapon's power against itself. As the device reached full capacity, a precisely targeted pulse from a hidden satellite caused it to implode, taking the significant portion of the Council's fleet with it. The explosion was visible from the ground, a new star flaring briefly in the sky before fading away. For a moment, an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. Then, incredibly, the remaining Council ships began to retreat. Faster than light drives engaged, and the once mighty armada fled, leaving Earth's skies clear for the first time in months. As the realization of victory swept across the planet, celebrations erupted in every corner of the globe. Humans embraced their alien allies, tears of joy mingling with cries of triumph. Against all odds, facing an enemy that had subjugated countless worlds, humanity had prevailed. But even in this moment of triumph, Earth's leaders knew that this was only the beginning. The Galactic Council, while bloodied, was far from defeated, and humanity, along with its new allies, had a responsibility to ensure that no species would ever again face the threat of galactic tyranny. As the sun rose on a free Earth, President Chen addressed the world and the watching galaxy. Today, we have won more than a battle. We have won the right to forge our own path among the stars. But with that right comes a great responsibility. We must ensure that the liberty we have fought so hard for is extended to all sentient beings, across every star system and every galaxy. She paused, her gaze sweeping across the sea of faces before her, human and alien, united in purpose. The road ahead will not be easy, but we are humanity. We do not shrink from challenges, we rise to meet them. And together with our new allies, we will build a future brighter than any we could have imagined. As her words echoed across the planet and beyond, a new chapter in galactic history began, one in which humanity would play a central role in shaping the destiny of countless worlds. The Galactic Council had demanded tribute. Humanity had responded with defiance, and in doing so, they had changed the course of cosmic history forever. A new dawn for the galaxy. In the years that followed humanity's unlikely victory over the Galactic Council, the face of the known universe changed dramatically. Earth, once an isolated world on the fringes of galactic civilization, now stood at the center of a new interstellar alliance. The aftermath of the war was not without its challenges. Much of Earth lay in ruins, its population decimated, its ecosystems strained to the breaking point. But the same spirit that had carried humanity through its darkest hour now drove a renaissance of unprecedented scale. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, her mind brimming with insights gained from alien technology, led a global effort to heal the planet. Nanotechnology, once the stuff of science fiction, was deployed to cleanse polluted waters and restore ravaged landscapes. Cities rose from the ashes, gleaming structures that melded the best of human architecture with advanced alien engineering. But Earth was no longer humanity's sole home. The Diaspora Project, launched in humanity's darkest hour, had borne fruit beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Human colonies, established on distant worlds, sent back reports of successful settlements and new discoveries. Humanity had taken its first real steps into the cosmic arena. Dr. Elena Reyes, now serving as Earth's chief diplomat to the galactic community, worked tirelessly to forge bonds between humanity and its alien allies. Her linguistic skills, honed during the war, proved invaluable in navigating the complex tapestry of interstellar cultures. "We're not just making allies," she explained during a public address. "We're building a true galactic community, one based on mutual respect, shared knowledge, and a commitment to freedom for all sentient beings." This new alliance, unofficially dubbed the Cosmic Concordat by media outlets across a dozen worlds, stood in stark contrast to the oppressive regime of the Galactic Council. Where the Council had demanded tribute and submission, the Concordat offered cooperation and cultural exchange. Dr. Aidan Zhao, the historian whose insights had helped shape humanity's resistance, now found himself chronicling a new chapter in cosmic history. "What we're witnessing," he wrote in a widely distributed treatise, "is nothing less than a paradigm shift in galactic governance. The fall of the Council has opened the door to a new era of exploration, innovation, and cooperation between species that might never have met under the old regime." But the peace was not without its threats. The remnants of the Galactic Council, though driven from Earth, still controlled vast swaths of the galaxy. They viewed the rise of the Cosmic Concordat with a mixture of fear and hatred, seeing in it a challenge to their millennia-old power structures. Skirmishes broke out along the borders of Concordat space. Infiltrators attempted to sow discord among the Alliance's member species. It became clear that the war, in many ways, was not truly over. It had simply entered a new phase. General Marcus Hardwick, now serving as the head of the Concordat's combined defense forces, prepared for the challenges ahead. "We beat them once," he reminded his multi-species crew during a strategy session aboard the flagship of the Concordat's fleet. "We'll beat them again if we have to, but this time, we're not fighting alone." The general's words rang true across the Alliance. Ships of designs as varied as the species that crewed them patrolled the stars, standing ready to defend the hard-won freedom of 1,000 worlds. On Earth, President Amelia Chen, re-elected by a landslide to guide humanity through this new era, addressed a gathering of human and alien dignitaries. When the Galactic Council came to our world, demanding tribute, they thought they knew what to expect. They had subjugated countless species before us, and they saw no reason to think we would be any different. But they fundamentally misunderstood what it means to be human. She paused, her gaze sweeping across the assembled crowd. "We are explorers, dreamers, innovators. We look at the impossible and see a challenge to be overcome. We face adversity not with fear, but with determination and ingenuity. And most importantly, we understand that true strength comes not from domination, but from cooperation." As she spoke, holographic displays showed images from across the Concordat. Human scientists working alongside alien researchers to unlock the secrets of the universe, mixed species crews embarking on missions of exploration, children of a dozen worlds playing together in zero-gravity parks. The Galactic Council thought they could break us. Instead, they unleashed something they never could have anticipated. A force for change that will reshape the very foundations of galactic society. Her words were met with thunderous applause, a cacophony of sounds from a myriad of alien physiologies united in purpose. As the celebration continued, a small group gathered in a quiet corner of the hall. Dr. Tanaka, her eyes gleaming with excitement, shared her latest breakthrough. "We've cracked it," she whispered, her voice trembling with barely contained enthusiasm. "True faster than light travel, without the limitations of the Council's technology. The stars themselves are now within our reach." The implications were staggering. With this technology, the Concordat could expand faster than ever before, reaching out to the farthest corners of the galaxy. They could offer hope and freedom to species still languishing under Council rule and explore realms of space never before seen by sentient eyes. As the news spread through the gathering, a palpable sense of anticipation filled the air. The future, vast and unknown, beckoned, and humanity, along with its alien allies, stood ready to meet it head-on. In the skies above, the first ships equipped with the new FTL drives prepared for their maiden voyages. Their crews, drawn from dozens of species, shared a common purpose: to push back the boundaries of the known, to offer a hand of friendship to new civilizations, and to ensure that the liberty they had fought so hard for would spread to every corner of the cosmos. As the ships engaged their drives, streaking the way in brilliant flashes of light, those watching from Earth felt a profound sense of destiny. The Galactic Council had come to their world expecting tribute. Instead, they had sparked a revolution that would reshape the very fabric of galactic society. Humanity had taken its first, faltering steps into a larger universe. And though challenges lay ahead, they faced the future not with fear, but with hope, determination, and an unshakable belief in the power of unity. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now promised new horizons, new discoveries, and a future brighter than any could have imagined. Humanity, and the alliance it had forged in fire and defiance, stood ready to write the next chapter in the grand story of the cosmos. The tribute demanded by the Galactic Council had been paid, not in submission, but in the currency of courage, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to freedom. And that tribute had purchased something far greater than mere survival. It had bought a future among the stars, not just for humanity, but for all who yearned to chart their own course in the vast ocean of the cosmos. As the new era dawned, one thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. And humanity, once a small, isolated species on a tiny blue planet, now stood at the forefront of a cosmic revolution. The greatest adventure in the history of the universe had only just begun.